What's going on, guys? Welcome back to your favorite construction channel. Yes, to go straight to the point, today I want you to tour with me this compact 4-bedroom house. Actually, in total, it has about 4 bedrooms, and then there is a little guard house or a maid's room right at the back. If I can show you, ignore these blocks, these are just meant to mimic the building that are already on the neighboring plot. Okay, so on this side there is a little maid or guard house with a small toilet that can be accessed by anyone from the outside. Okay, so allow me tour with you this tiny 4-bedroom house. Not really tiny because the bedrooms are really spacious enough, but I thought that if we tour this together, you might have a thing or two to learn or to copy from this as you reach towards building your own house. Okay, so first of all, to start with, the size of the plot here is actually, we have about 21 meters here, which is about 70 feet, and on this side we have about 14.4 meters, which is roughly about 47 feet, let's say. Okay, just to for ease of illustration or for ease of the discussion, we will say that there is a we'll say that there is 50 feet and 70, so which makes it a literally 50 by 70 plot. Okay, in feet. So we are going to start by discussing it. One of the first things that we realize is the parking that is housed under, or that is sheltered under the house. Now, this is one of the concepts that we usually apply when the plot is not small, when the plot is not big, and we really want to have a bit of compound even when cars are parked. Of course, the other advantage that comes with that is that the cars are protected from the strong sunlight, which can cause a lot of peeling on the paint of the car and things like that. But it's not really a major thing, because even though you could still just put a carport outside, but in this scenario it was best to have it right under the porch. So looking at the design in general, as you can see, quite a modern style, some a kind of design that you'd give a second look when you pass by it. Okay, so but you know that when you're having a house and all that, it's not the outside look. The outside look of the house is not all there is on a house. I mean, the inside has to be functional, and the reason why we call this a compact 4-bedroom house is because the inside is so compact that there is no space that has been put to waste, and we are going to see that in a few when we actually enter into the house. So when you look at the renders, you see how the design is, how it looks on either side, and then we'll be talking about different considerations really on this house. You can see how the roof is actually a hidden roof, and you see that the gutter is actually not concealed within, something I've talked about before, very sensitive, but we'll get to that when we are discussing the terrace. This is just a terrace at the top, which you access from here after the stairs, and then there is a small other room here, which can be a study, it can be a common room, it can be really anything. Okay, but we'll discuss all that in stages. So let's enter right into the house. Now, looking at it from the outside, there is this door that looks to be seamless together with the upper door. This actually is not a door, but it's a window. They look to be seamless, but they actually are detached, because this one is actually openable when you check the details of the drawings. And then there is also another door that enters through this point. Okay, we're also going to look at that in a few. Okay, but starting from the exterior of the house, you can see that we have a small green compound here at the front of the house, and then you notice that we did not put a curb here, a curbstone, meaning that it would be difficult for a car to climb over here. This is now for situations whereas there is the on-street parking on the road, because the road is wide enough, about 8 meters, which means there is still provision for parking on the road. Sometimes you might find scenarios when there is like a third car and it needs to stay inside the compound. So if it needs to drive over this and park in the grass, and you had put a curbstone here, it would make it very difficult, or the car would rather damage the curbstone or the curbstone will actually damage the car if it's a low car. Okay, but as you can see here, this green compound is kind of seamless with the compound, such that it's easy for anything to maneuver over there in and out. Okay, but anyway, that's not the main point of this, but I'm just going to cut through so that you can actually have a look at how everything is. So right there, I think that should work. So you look at this, let's say you entered either from here. That's why you see there's no sofa that is sitting in this space, because it could be used for hinging of the door. And then besides, there's a door here that enters here, which I think will be mainly the door that will be most used during the operations of the house. The doors are not yet to detail, so you can see it's just an open glass door and all that, but that is for the detail of the drawings. Okay, so as you can see, we have a screen that is on this wall, and then we have sofas sitting all around here, and then we have the dining here. We have a small kitchen bar. Observe the detail there, that it's raised a bit. If you look at this height difference, it's raised a bit above the worktop in the kitchen, so that when you're sitting here, these tools need to be a bit tall enough. Okay, and also if you've placed certain things here, like a percolator, let's say percolator or plates and things like that, they're not easily visible from this side of the living room. I think that makes sense. Then also there is a small wash hand basin here, or sink we can call it, with a mirror. That is for if guests want to wash their hands before they eat food, and they don't necessarily have to come into the kitchen. Okay, it's well designed. I think on this point you can put your plants, you can put little decorations here, and there are little small monuments here that can be used to fill up that space really. Then going to the kitchen, there's a small space under the right, just next to the stairs. Okay, so here apparently there's going to be a wall. I think during the cutting it has been made not visible, but there is a wall that comes all the way from here up to here. Okay, so there is a small laundry here where you can install a laundry machine, and then on this side there's a small pantry where you can store your things, and on this side is a vault. There's a vault where you can put something like a fridge. This two-door fridge can actually fit there. Fridge, refrigerator, not quite sure about the difference, but this is a refrigerator. That's just a short form. So looking at it in general, you will realize that, as usual, how sometimes we do it when we have very, very minimal spaces. For us to take advantage of space under the staircase, it sometimes requires that you make the first flight of the stair much longer than usually is, because usually for staircases, if you're to look at them, you find that the number of stairs on this first flight is the same as the number of stairs on the second flight, which is not the case here, and we are going to see that when we go to the first floor. So here we actually put more stairs on the first flight, such that underneath it can have enough headroom for us to utilize it for a lot of things. Okay, so you can see we have all these things because we had this landing being much longer than usual. That's why actually a fridge is able to fit under the staircase itself, because the first flight has more stairs, which gives us enough headroom here that a fridge can actually fit. And then of course this one right here next to here is a duct. We are going to see how that is going to play when we come from the first floor. But basically this is the ground floor. The ground floor has actually one bedroom, so this is a very big dilemma. I think we can discuss it right here. Okay, if you are to see very carefully, you see that this is a bedroom. You could call it a guest bedroom. Usually people prefer that the guest bedroom is down, and there is a dilemma that this whole space that you see here, this one combined together with this, was actually meant to be a bathroom, a single bathroom. Okay, which has just the wash hand basin, it has the toilet bidet, and it has the shower cabin. But in this scenario, we actually had to split it. So when we split it, this bathroom becomes a bit smaller, but still very, very functional. And then this one is separate. Originally, this was supposed to be just a bathroom that has a door here entering into all this space. So which means that even guests who are here can still use the bathroom, or whoever is here can also come and use the bathroom. Now, when you look at that scenario, when it comes to maybe night time, and a guest maybe has slept over and they need to use the washroom in the middle of the night, waking up and opening this door and entering this space might be a bit scary for a lot of people. So people prefer that it's actually self-contained. But when you make it self-contained, that means we'll have to look for another space where guests can use as the toilet if they want to maybe take a short call or a long call without having to go all around to the outside of the house. Okay. Or even just anyone who's on the ground floor. I mean, you're on the ground floor and you want to take a short call, you don't have to take the stairs and then you go to your bedroom to take a piss and then come back. Okay, so to make that convenient anyway, you can see that this one we had to split it into two, such that this one is just a sink and a toilet. Someone can do their short call, wash their hands and come out, and it's hidden a bit in such a way that, I mean, if people are here in the living room, it's not so much of in the open that people actually visibly seeing it directly. So anyway, the challenge that poses is that the ventilation here becomes tricky. The ventilation, because by default it's important for, at least in the African setting, because we don't have a lot of fall air extractors and all that, we try to keep costs as low as possible. What I mean is that, like, the maintenance costs of leaving the air conditioners on, having fall air extractors or smoke extractors and things like that. It's usually by default that a toilet has access to the exterior natural light. But in this case, because that posed that, now this is a concept that that we borrowed from a house that I rented quite a number of years back, where the concept was in this format, and I didn't think that it works until I actually lived in such a space. So there is a small little opening here, which is going to be filled with louvers. So it gives a bit of interaction between the air in this space and the air in this space, so that if after someone has done probably a long call, the air does not get trapped in completely. It still can take advantage of this sharing of the space and still exit from this one, which actually has an access to the outside. I didn't know it works until I lived in such a space, and it was one of the things that gave an opportunity for people to not actually share into your bathroom, but they can have a private place where they can do a long call and not necessarily have to enter your bedroom. It was quite a brilliant concept. So anyway, that is subject to discussion. You guys can let me know what you think, or what you'd have done different. Anyway, we have the kitchen is here, quite basic, and also you might want to notice that at the sink side we have a very short window. This window is only stopping at this height, just enough to bring light into this area. And then one of the other things that I think I would like to talk about, which we are adopting more and more often these days, is having a very large back door. It's very, very, very rare to find in an African setting. Okay, let me put it in the Ugandan context. In the Ugandan context, where people actually are having a large door at the back of the house, in most of the cases, it's just a small door. Okay, but in this case, this is a large door. That large door leads you to the outside, which can even have some greenery. Ugandans are not so big on backyard space, but I am. So you can even chill in the backyard and all that. Then on this side, we have this little outside cooking area. I mean, you can grill your chicken, or you can do whatever you are doing. You can use this in terms of not being really an electrical cooker or something, but you can use charcoal to do that. And then there is also a sink here, and then some storage spaces down here. Quite subject to modifications in this scenario. Okay, and then there was meant to be a small pergola that comes out of this wall. We just had to make it short for a bit of good visibility, but a pergola that provides a shade onto this area, such that even when you're at the back of the house, the sun is not really scorching you directly. So then on this side, there is a small door that leads into a toilet and bathroom for this person who stays here, either a guard or a maid, whichever you choose for it to be. Okay, so I think with that on the ground floor, we can say that it's safe to go to the upper floor. Okay, but before we go there, if you to look at this, there's this huge thing that is coming from down up. Okay, when you look at it from the plan right here, you can see it's right here. Now that one is meant to serve two purposes. The pipe that is draining the terrace is meant to pass through here and be dissipated on the ground. Of course, that's a detail that is for the electrical and plumbing drawings. not necessarily in these drawings that we're actually looking at. And then there is a small area here where you can have a planter, where you can plant a short palm, or basically those plants that do not have fibrous roots, those plants that do not spread so much to damage the foundation or the walls of the house, just something small, a shrub, so to say. So now that I've actually cut through, I want us to look at the first floor. So when you go to the first floor, this is going to be quite interesting. Remember, we came to the first floor through these stairs that came from all the way down here. Okay, and then you have your half landing here, and then you land right on this point. So I'm just going to make this one a bit shorter so that you can easily see what we are talking about. Remember, I said that there's actually a wall here, okay, that is closing off the laundry machine and all that, a wall that comes and ends here, but of course at the height of the stairs. So when you land on this floor, the floor might be so bright, so I'm just going to change the material of the floor so that we can have something easy for you to see. Let's just have that. Okay, yeah, I think this will make visibility much easier. So remember, we've climbed and then we've landed right here, but as you land here, you see that there's this void that overlooks down into the living room. Yeah, those who live in storied houses know how it can be tricky when you want to call someone and you're upstairs and they're downstairs and you have to shout your voice. You have to shout and they still can't hear you. But with this kind of arrangement, I mean, you just come and walk over to this balcony and then you just call the person's name and they can respond, and you have a conversation even while you're still up and they are down. Okay, but anyway, that might not be a big deal for other people, but to others it is. So when you go up, there is this bedroom that is facing the front. There is this bedroom that is facing towards the back of the house, and then they both share this bathroom. You can see that the bathroom is well prepared, like things we've talked about here, having the shower cabin to be a separate space that water doesn't splash over the rest of the bathroom. Then we have a toilet, and then we have this as a wash hand basin. But remember, all this is planned out to drain actually in this duct that I mentioned earlier. Yeah, so in the electrical and the plumbing drawings and all that, it needs to be indicated where the pipes are actually flowing. That's why it's important to have all those sets of drawings together so that they are used in conjunction with each other during the construction. So going here, you can see there is a terrace. Now, this is also another bit of a dilemma. There is a terrace here. Actually, I wish I could take this higher. Let me first tour the bedroom, the master's bedroom, then we'll discuss about this part of the house. So in this scenario, we have the master's bedroom. It has a walk-by closet, which also is kind of mimicking a walk-in closet, but it goes all the way and makes the turn here and returns here. Yes, the master's bedroom just has the shower cabin, it has the toilet seater, it has this, and then also I want you to notice that it has two sinks. Of course, that is really subjective, but also if you're to be very keen, you realize that this space here was increased by cutting down part of this wall. You can sit down, whereas we did not have enough space on the ground. When you reach upstairs, you can actually spread out a bit and give more space into the bedroom, which has given us the opportunity to make the bedroom slightly bigger than it was originally. Okay, yes, looking at it, I think this is all beautifully laid out. Then I want us to talk about this balcony. So you can see that through the master's bedroom, there is a space that is actually a covered porch here. We love open terraces and you have all the wind blowing. I mean, you can see there's a small umbrella here that provides the shade. But when it rains, sometimes you might still have the need to actually be in a balcony. So you can actually take advantage of this covered porch and be right there while even it's raining, okay? Yeah, there's supposed to be a translucent sheet here. This is still an incomplete design, but there's supposed to be a translucent sheet here, all right, to provide the shade for that space. Okay, so I think we are now going to go to the terrace and also discuss that. Going to the terrace, you knew where the stairs are. So of course, if you look through this space and see how the stairs are coming, you see how they came through. So they land right on this floor through that door. Then there is a room here, which can be an entertainment room, it can be an office space, it can be anything. And then we have a mighty terrace. A terrace also has this kind of a porch, actually this porch right here. As you can see, something like a pocket. You might want to ignore this. There's meant to be, let me just do this, okay, so that you can know that that is actually a covered space, okay. Then when you reach here, there's actually a small, there is a small, oh, I wish I could show that to you properly. There's a small toilet door that comes when you land on the stairs. Right behind this, there's a small toilet door just behind this. That's why you're seeing this small window here. Basically, this part here is a toilet for those who are on the terrace, okay. Looking at all that, there are these exterior designs that are showing all this. Then we were thinking, don't you think it would make more sense to expand the terrace by bringing this line of the rails and bring it over here, bring it over here, bring it over here, and include this small section here into the balcony? I think it would make more into the terrace. I think it would make more sense, but that is subjective. You can discuss that. You can argue with your keyboards. That is up for discussion, okay. Then you look at the roof. The roof is very importantly slanting all the way to the back, okay. As you can see, this is still incomplete. It needs to be worked upon, but you can see the concept of the roof, draining all the way to the back. I've discussed before how very troublesome having concealed gutters can actually be for those who are staying in hidden roofs, in flat roofs and all that. You know what that can pose, so it's important to avoid it whenever you can, and just have your roof drain all the way to the back, connect the gutters and take the water down, okay. Then we have tanks over here which are providing water to the rest of the structure. Basically, in a nutshell, this is the design of the house. Let us know what you think, and subscribe to the channel, like the video, share with your friends. Thank you very much for watching, and have yourself a good time.